from Columbus, Ohio.
Is it a certain part you represent?
The South Side.
And still living in Columbus?
Somewhat, yeah. I got a crib in L.A., and I'm working on getting a crib in Atlanta right now. I kind of pop into Columbus like once a week or something like that, you know.
How old were you when you moved to L.A.?
25. I just moved there two months ago.
Music career decision?
Most definitely. My daughter just moved there too, so you know what I'm saying? I had to follow her footsteps.
Oh, okay. So the daughter moved first, then you followed.
Correct.
Now, what was it like growing up in Columbus? Can you paint that picture for us? And before you paint the picture, if somebody's never heard of Columbus, what's the closest major city aside from Columbus?
Closest major city is...
That one would know or be familiar with.
Cincinnati.
How far is that?
Hour and a half.
Okay. So paint the picture for us. What was it like for you growing up in Columbus?
Shit, for me, I mean, shit, my mom was struggling, so you know what I'm saying? It's just like every other person that was struggling, you know. Mom at work most of the day, and shit, you know, I'm out in the streets getting some money so I can eat, so I can get some new clothes, whatever, you know, the case may be. But, you know, Columbus, a lot of people think Columbus is the country, and Columbus is, it's a savage area, you know what I'm saying? So,
how young did this money hustling street stuff start for you?
Shit, that began at like 15.
Okay. While you were in school?
Correct.
We'll delve into that a little bit later in the interview. But aside from that, and your mom dealing with the struggle, there's different levels of the struggle. Mm-hmm. Well, one person's struggle can be a different, you know, level of struggle to somebody else.
Most definitely.
For you, what was the toughest part of the struggle? Like, what was one time during your upbringing that was just over the top? Like the bottom point, maybe.
There's a time, man, where I kept going to jail. Like, it was like almost like I felt like the devil was on my back, you know what I'm saying? At this point, I was broke, you know what I'm saying? So, like, when it come down to trying to still move on with life, still take care of bills, and still take care of, you know what I'm saying, little shit like that, and then you gotta deal with jail, and then your people's not fucking with you because you in and out the system. You know what I'm saying? Shit got bad for me at one point in time, where I really didn't have nowhere to go. My mom had kicked me out. Shit, I had to lean on my grandma, you know what I'm saying? So, about 16, 17 years old is when I moved with my grandma.
How young did going to jail start? How old were you when you got your first charge?
That started at 15. I was 15 years old.
Juvenile stuff?
Juvenile.
Nothing that was treated as an adult?
No, not as a juvenile, no.
Mm. How many times did you go to jail? Just as a juvenile, for example.
As a juvenile, I probably went to jail like, I'll say like 6 times.
That's a lot.
Times, yeah.
For what?
Breaking and entering, carrying a concealed weapon, possession of marijuana. You know, I got a lot of possession of marijuana when I was younger. I used to keep some weed on me, man. That shit was fucking me up with the system, I mean.
Times are different now on marijuana and how marijuana is treated.
Most definitely. Especially now that I'm in L.A.
What's that like? Because there's people that are living in Columbus that, first, is Columbus is medical marijuana or even recreational marijuana legal yet?
Nah, Columbus ain't none of that shit.
So somebody watching this that's never lived in L.A. before, what's that like? What's the difference? What's the...
L.A., I could wake up in the morning and go 10 minutes down to the dispensary and get some weed and roll it up right there outside on the sidewalk, and don't gotta worry about the cops pressing up on me and none of that shit. You know, I ain't worried about no weed, you know what I'm saying? That's the difference. Now in Columbus, you ain't going to no store to buy no weed. You got to get it off somebody in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference.
You're a big smoker?
Yeah, big smoker.
Somebody that enjoys that as well. What's that feeling like? You can smoke whenever you want.
Yeah.
How much? Is there a limit on how much you can carry with you or have on you, or
in Columbus?
No, in LA.
In LA.
Is it total freedom?
Nah, it's a certain limit. It's a certain amount of zips that you can't. It's like 8 zips or something like that you can't have on you. But you got less than that, then I think it's a ticket. You know what I'm saying? If you got pounds on you type. You know what I'm saying? But as far as having a little sack on you or something like that, it's recreational. So.
When you see a cop go by, what's your reaction? What's their reaction? Are they even looking twice at you? Or
the first time I smoked, when a cop was coming past, he ain't pay me no attention. I was scared, of course, you know what I'm saying, because I ain't used to it, but he just kept it rolling, you know what I'm saying. Then the second time, I was at the airport, and I was smoking before I went in there and got on my plane, and it was 2 officers. They walked right past me and said, "What's up?" to me and all that. I'm like, this shit's sweet out here, you know what I'm saying? It's real sweet.
So even though it's recreational is legal out there, yes? Still a little nervous,
Yeah, still a little bit.
Just because you're used to the old-fashioned way.
I'm still back and forth from Ohio, so you know what I'm saying? It's like I still be on my P's and Q's a little bit with it.
Now, okay, so as a juvenile, you went in 6-7 times. Did this carry on as an adult? Did this carry in onto adulthood, going to jail and continuing to go?
Yeah, it did. I say when I was 18, I got caught with a pistol. And then when I was 19, I got caught with a pistol. Well, when I was 18, I got caught with a pistol. They put me on probation. So I was on probation. I was 19, I got caught with a pistol. I was facing jail time. So I was basically, I say 19 is when I start doing the club stuff in Columbus. Like I started doing the promotion and all that stuff. And I start trying to take the right route once I seen how, I don't know, the promo side kind of showed me like a different lane of life, because I was stuck on kind of, if you're not a big lawyer or a doctor or a dentist or something like that, then you trapping, you know what I'm saying? But then once I started to see, you know what I mean, promo, I was getting money off the promo stuff. Once I started seeing that, I kind of slowed down on the streets a little bit, and I was still fighting the case though. So that led to me eventually going to jail, you know what I'm saying, for a nice little period of time.
How much time?
6 months. 6 months. It was at the time where I was buzzing in the city too, like, you know what I'm saying?
So bad timing.
Yeah,
I mean, no time is good for jail.
Most definitely.
That was specifically not the best time if you had to go.
Yeah, it kind of dented me a little bit, you know. So after that, I kind of got my mind right, but I was still little stuff, getting caught with weed or something, go to jail. No license, go to jail. Little shit like that, but I was trying to stay out the streets as much as I can, man. I start focusing on the music.
Now, what about school? What kind of kid were you in class?
I was a badass kid, man. From middle school up. Bad as far as suspended, peak, shit, after class detentions. It got bad.
Never expelled, though?
I've been expelled probably like 3 times from school.
So you had to do alternative school?
Most definitely.
Now, did you rap in school?
Nah.
That came later?
Yeah.
Did you graduate high school?
Yeah, I graduated.
You did?
Yeah.
Now, while you were in school, you were 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah.
Now, when it came to the street activity, looking back, dealing with the streets, that can be a very risky path to take. There's consequences that can come from that. Mm-hmm. You did some juvenile jail. I mean, I don't want to say jail time, but you were in and out the juvenile system.
Right.
So obviously, incarceration is one of the consequences that could happen. Violence is a consequence that can happen, even possibly death. Mm-hmm. Not to mention the stresses that can come from that, the looking over your shoulder feeling that can come from that. Mm-hmm. Why go that route? Why not go the, 9 to 5, get a job route?
Shit, I tried it. You know what I'm saying? I tried it. Shit just wasn't. It just wasn't really working out for me like that. Like, I kept getting fired for shit like little dumb shit, calling off for important stuff. I just couldn't make it. I had to call off, and you know what I'm saying, that'll lead to me getting fired, and eventually I'll just be like, fuck it. Like, I don't want to work for nobody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather put the time in to learn how to turn myself into a boss than to be watching a motherfucker making more money than me, who I feel like is not mentally or what's the word I'm looking for? I can't get the word out.
Not as intelligent?
Yeah, not as intelligent. Yeah.
Did you know these consequences from the jump?
Yeah, I knew the consequences.
Any regrets dealing with the street activity? Just thinking back, hindsight 2020.
Yeah, because now, like, any little thing that I do, they looking back on all that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's not just, it didn't just end there. It continues. It's a continuous path that don't nobody want to really go through, regardless if that's all you know or whatever. Don't nobody want to go through that shit.
Was it worth it? Was the risk worth the reward, or what you got out of it?
No. It's never worth it, in my eyes. Growing up, looking back on it, it was never worth it.
You did it for a while.
Yeah, I know.
Now, how did your parents deal with this? Did you try to hide it at first and eventually, obviously they see you go into juvenile, they're catching on, or did they know from the jump you were?
Man, my mom knew from the jump I was a badass kid just from school. You know what I'm saying? I kept getting suspended from school.
But the street path, did you try to hide it at first, or she was hip on it?
She was kind of hip on it.
Did she try to stop you? Did she?
Yeah, my mom always tried to do stuff like put me in sports or try to persuade me to stay active in something. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, she worked a lot, so it's only so much she could do. You know, it's a lot of time where she at work and I got a lot of time at the house by myself or with my little brother. You know what I'm saying? So she could tell me or try to persuade me to do something, but shit, if I got homeboys, all these homeboys and all this other shit, and you ain't home at this time or these hours after school, you know what I'm saying? That shit lead to doing other stuff, you know?
Now, I'm surprised that you graduated high school, because the description you laid out, somebody that's going to juvenile 6 or 7 times, someone that's already in having a street path and kind of their own boss, so to speak. Sometimes that's a recipe to quit.
Right.
A recipe to leave school. You're getting suspended, you're getting expelled. What kept you going to finish? Was that self-motivated? Was that your mom pressing you to finish? What made you continue on? Because some people, it's a wrap after 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade.
Yeah, I think it was self-motivated for real, man. So 16, I moved out here. The judge gave me an option to either move, or I could move here with my uncle, or I could sit and do 2 years in juvenile. And shit, you know, I took the option to move. So I moved out here to Atlanta, to Gwinnett for like 7 months. And for a second, shit was going smooth out here, man. I just started fucking up out here in school. And I just felt like once I started fucking up out here in school, it was kind of like everybody was looking at me like, man, this nigga ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? People in my family, like, he gonna fuck up wherever he go. He gonna this, he gonna that. So it got to a point where I felt like I didn't really have nobody. So it was kind of like I wanted to prove to motherfuckers that it was more to me than just the streets. And on top of that shit, the schoolwork was getting done. You know what I'm saying? Right, regardless if I was doing it with myself or if I was cheating, the work would get done. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't the type to not turn in work or not show up for class or none of that shit. The shit was getting done. So I mean, the teachers was telling me like, you're a smart kid. You just do what the fuck you want to do. And that's what led to me getting expelled, getting suspended, and all the other stuff.
But you did graduate.
But I did graduate from Marion-Franklin High School.
So were you in alternative school, 12th grade?
No.
Okay, so you were back in public?
Yeah, when I moved out here, I was a senior in high school, and they told me, once I got down the line, they told me that I wouldn't be able to graduate because the graduation test was different and all this other stuff. I mean, it stems from me getting in trouble a lot there, and they was just kind of finding little reasons to just kind of fuck me off a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And it worked. So once they told me that, I packed up all my shit and I just flew back to Columbus. And shit, by the grace of God, man, my grandma let me move in with her, you know what I'm saying? Because my mom, she was done with me, you know what I'm saying? So she let me move in, and she just started to kind of mold me up a little bit, and it worked, you know, so.
Did the relationship with your mom eventually get patched up?
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Once she seen me start to kind of build my name in the city in a positive way, it started to shed light on everybody, you know what I'm saying? Everybody started to look at me different, look at me like, oh, this is what maybe it ain't just the streets to him. Maybe it ain't just fucking off and going to jail and all this other dumb stuff. Maybe he do got some potential to do something. And I just ran with it from there, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, the clubs, I made a whole bunch of money off the clubs in the city. And from there, I started to do music, which I always had a passion for. I just never took it serious, like, you know? So once I started to take it serious and I started to see that I was motivating others, shit, it started to motivate me even more, and you know what I'm saying? Now we here. I feel like it's time to make shit shake, man.
When it comes to the street activity, the street path, somebody watching this, let's say they're 1 foot in, 1 foot out, teenager, maybe around the same age as you, describing, you know, your past upbringing. What's the advice there? Somebody 1 foot in, 1 foot out, going to school, 1 foot in the streets. What do you tell a kid like that, teenager?
Man, listen,
and circumstances could be different for everybody.
Most definitely.
But what's general advice?
It all come down to one thing, man: jail or death. You know what I'm saying? It's not really nothing around it. You could try to. The people who get out of it is the lucky ones, and you know what I'm saying. You're not guaranteed to be the lucky one. So it's best if you got the opportunity to do something better, as far as music or modeling or photography or whatever it is. Man, just go 100% with it, man.
Sports.
Sports.
Intelligence, using your brain.
There's really no limit. It's the sky is the limit. Anything is better than being in the streets and risking your life and going to jail, you know.
When you mentioned the lucky ones, if we had a 100% pie chart, right? How many people, in your opinion, make it out? Like you said,
we talking about the real trappers. Like, not the pump fakers, the real people who really out there risking their life out there.
What's the percentage of people who really get away with it, don't really get caught up in the system?
You're probably looking at like a 40%, 30%, maybe 30%, and that's on a good note. That's me kind of boosting it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? 30%, other 70%. Shit, you go to the jail, they got stories for you. You know what I'm saying? Period.
Is it just luck? Is it certain intelligence? Is it a combination of the two? Is it something else I didn't mention?
It could be. It's a combination of the two. It could be. You could be lucky. You know what I'm saying? Or it could also be intelligence. You get to a point where before any of that shit even happens, you like, nah, let me just shake this off and go another route, or take this 100% serious. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Because we also see the movies, and in the movies, it's always that, this is going to be my last run. This is going to be my last jug, so to speak. And that's when they get hemmed up and thrown away and the keys locked, and that's the story.
Right.
This was just going to be my last one.
Mm-hmm.
But those are movies. I don't know how often that's true. In real life.
I mean, that's true. It worked like that.
Was there any thoughts of furthering the education after high school?
Yeah, most definitely. I became a barber. I got my barber license when I was 20 years old. So that's what I was saying. Like, once I started to do more in a positive note out there, I just started to kind of see, like, what can I do now? What can I do now? You know what I'm saying? And I always cut hair. People, the homies was always coming to the crib getting a haircut. So I just felt like if I wasn't going to take that 100% serious, you know what I'm saying, it's still something I could have on my belt. So I just knocked it out.
Why club promotion? Why not stick with the barber stuff? Was there more money in it?
Yeah, hell yeah. It was more money in the club stuff. I knew everybody in the city, so it kind of started on the house party tip, and then once I seen, like, oh, this shit ain't, it's a piece of cake, and we got into the venue side, you know, and I started seeing a couple $1,000s a week type shit off one party, and you know, I had all the hoes. Shit, it was like, shit, this where it's at right here. Everybody a motherfucking barber.
I mean, you make it sound easy, but there's horror stories that happens in club promotion. There's people that lose.
Oh, yeah.
And the losses can be a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I done took some losses before, but I done gained so much before. I gained a lot before I lost. You know what I mean? So I took losses maybe like going in on the show with somebody else or something like that. But as far as the money was with that shit, man, I was gaining before I was losing. So, you know, young nigga, stay fresh, got females, nice wit, own crib. I was just looking for the next gateway, and I felt like, shit, as much as I love music, I felt like that was my next step.
Did people take you serious though, or did they look at it like, oh, it's just a club promoter trying to rap and get some shine and get some fame?
At first, like, I would tell females.
Because if you already have the women.
Yeah, I would tell females.
What's the point of doing the rap stuff? If you're already hot in the city, people know who you are. Because
I would be at the club, and you know what I'm saying, we would bring artists, and it's like, the artist was, I felt like it was the promoter than the artist. You know what I'm saying? We paying the artist $30,000-$40,000 to come to the club. We making sure your writer got chicken wings and apple juice on it, and you know what I'm saying? We paying for you to fly here. I'm like, shit, I want that to be me. What the fuck? So I just started to sit back and kind of soak it in and just be like, man, I could do that. You know what I'm saying? This could be me. So I just wanted to play with that route. And it's working for me, you know what I'm saying? Music is another way for me to express myself, and I love that shit, so I'm gonna stick with it.
People took it serious? They didn't take it as a joke?
Nah. Females kind of was like, oh yeah, we're gonna see, or I see. You know what I mean? It was a couple females like that, but it was people who knew I had a lot of buzz in the city, so even if they thought it was a joke, they wouldn't say it to me. They would be like, man, that shit might work, 'cause everybody out here fuck with you, so, and it worked.
It's one thing to be popular, though. It's another thing to have real talent.
Right, and that's what it was too. It after they seen the real talent, they was like, yeah, this shit might work for bruh.